Hello and welcome everyone to my next video here in the Lotus Box Patreon. I want to go over a different deck than I initially planned. I wanted to go over Rek or Golgari, but there was kind of an uprising of Sultai recently, and this is one version I want to show you guys. And there was also a version that won the PT in the PTQ here in Arena on Channel Fireballs. So this is the version I have right now, and I'm gonna go shortly over it and tell you guys the good and the bad matchups. So the goal of the Sultai deck is a grindy one. You can ramp really fast with the 4 of Uro and the 4 of Growth Spiral. So those cards are really good at ramping, and of course if you have ramp you need some sort of payoff, and the payoff in this deck would be the Krasis and the Casualty of War. Casualty of War is a great card against Chunt and against Bunt, so this deck usually has a more favorable matchup towards those two decks, while Reclamation is a bit of a harder matchup. With the sideboard you can maybe get a better one, but yeah, I shortly go over it. So we play 2 of Gust in the main board. This card is definitely something you can main board now. There's a lot of red and green cards you want to take care of in Chant, in Bund, and in Reclamation. Even in the mirror match, and maybe in the Golgari and mono green or mono red aggressive decks, you have Aether Gust at your service. I went for a 2 off. You do not want to have like too many, since you could also face a deck that doesn't play anything of this, so 2 is the right choice. We play 4 Thought Erasures. I saw decks without Thought Erasure. I still think it's a great card. I think it's a card that is actually good against Reclamation, so I still want to have it in my main deck. It's also good against Bunt. You get some key cards, and yeah, just overall good card. This I just mentioned. Krasis of course payoff card. And yeah, also Narset. There are many lists with no Narsets, but it tends to be such a great card in the mirror match. If you play Sultai and there's a Narset and you have no removal, you basically lose, because Narset blocks so many cards of this deck. It's also good against Reclamation and against Bunt, so I think a 2-off is definitely good here. We play 2 Extinction Event, a really good removal spell since it exiles, mostly against creature decks. There are not too many creature decks, but if there are, you definitely want some sweepers. You could also play more sweepers, but since we have Gust and also this card, we do not need too many actually. There's a 1 of Tamiyo. I saw this with 1, 2, none. I go with a 1 of. It's great to fill the graveyard for Uro. It gives you recursion with your Shark Typhoons and your casualties. Just an overall good card. It's also okay against Shunt. It shuts down the priest and some discard spells. This deck has 3 Nissas. You can also go 2, 3, 4, whatever you like. I think 3 is the best number though. It's just a card that enables your X spells in Krasis, your expensive spell and casualties, and also the cycling of the Shark if you need it. What should I say about Nissa? It's just an overall great card. It makes you forest lands, give you an extra green mana. It's just amazing. -8. You get all the forest type lands from your deck into play, and your lands get indestructible. So this is basically a clock. It enables this certain mini game where if opponent cannot deal with Nissa, you basically win with that -8. Really strong card. And now with the bannings of Ancient and Fires, Nissa got way stronger again, mainly because you cannot really Ancient her anymore because the card is banned, and the Fires ECD plus Yoren into another ECD is gone as well. I mean, sure, there could be still ECDs, but usually you can set up the next turn better. Before it was almost impossible. You set up a Nissa, and the next turn there's another ECD threat with Yoren there. Yeah, but I just think this card is right now amazing. Then here, Shark Typhoon, a really good card in this deck, and we don't have many creatures. So this is actually a deck where you find yourself hard casting this card a lot. You have access to a lot of lands. I find myself hard casting this a lot. Surely the cycle ability is still amazing. But in this deck I tend to hard cast it more than I do usually. It's a 6 mana enchantment. Whenever you play a non-creature card, you get an XX blue shark flying token. So it's really good. It's a late game threat that has to be dealt with, otherwise you have endless sharks. Or you just cycle it and get your XX Blue Shark. Really great to go under Teferi's passive. And yeah, Shark Typhoon, overall great card. And then Casualty of War, as I mentioned, this card's just so good against Junt. It's also good against Bunt. I think if you can ramp into a Casualties, like a turn 4 Casualties, it's really hard. This is basically like ramping into Agents. You just give like... The change on board is so huge. I just think this card is... Even though Fires is banned and this card used to be good against Fire, with the uprise of Junt, this card could actually see play again. Yeah, so this is the main deck. You have 28 lands. I saw a list with 29. I went with 28. Maybe 29 is correct, but I think 28 seems to be okay. The deck that won a PTQ went also with 28. And shortly we go with the sideboard, the way I think it should be done. I will also say some additional cards that could be added in the sideboard. So let's start. I have 2 extra Aether Gust. I think this card is phenomenal, as I just mentioned before. It's good against the Reclamation decks. It gives you a lot of tempo. It's good against the mono red decks. It also gives you this card right now is just again really good. And it's funny, like 2 cards getting banned and Aether Gust becomes a staple again, even more than it was before. I went with 2 negates. As I mentioned, the hardest matchup here is the Reclamation, and having 2 negates here seems correct to me. I could also see like different counters, but negate the 2 mana counter seems to be really good. Especially it works also against the Teferi. Teferi is not a card we do care a lot because we don't play many counters, but I think negate is a good card against the Rec, Mirror, and Bunt. 2 Heartless Act. It's a 2 mana removal. There are not too many 2 mana removals right now. I went with Heartless Act. It kills all the creatures you want to, and it's maybe not the best against mono green because there are a lot of like a lot of counter creatures, but it still does a job for 2 mana. 3 Mystical Dispute, mainly to resolve your cards against the counter heavy matchups. I think 4 is too much. There are many decks that have a lot of lands right now, because many tend to ramp a lot. So I think 3 is the correct call right now. 2 Cry of the Carnarium. This is basically what you want against aggressive decks. Shuts down the Rakdos, all the Cat Oven decks. It makes them... It just helps you that they have to make sure that the cat is always in the graveyard, so they cannot do the extra damage, because usually people know how to play around it, but I still think it's a really good card. Same with Ritual Suit, just an additional removal spell. This one actually is really good against mono green, because many mono green cards tend to have 3 mana, like Yovo, like I mean Questing Beast not, but all the other like Pelt Collector, everything is up to 3, so you get a good chunk away. And then Thought Distortion. This is the card I think that makes this deck okay. Let's say this is the card that makes the deck a bit more possible against Reclamation, because Thought Distortion against Reclamation is huge. It's uncountable. Target opponent reveals the hand, exile all non-creature, non-land cards from that player's hand and graveyard. Well, it's good against Uro technically, and it just gets rid of all the counters and whatever they have. It's also good against Bunt. You definitely do not play it against Junt, but against the control matchups, you definitely want to play it. There's another card. There are 2 cards I could see. 1 card is Wilt. Extra way to deal with those enchantments, because there are really a lot around here. You have to see what you face a lot in the ladder. If you use this deck for the ladder of a Clamping Mythic High, you can add a Wilt. Maybe remove creature removal if you think that's the way to go. And the other card I kind of really like right now, and it's the card where I would put in because the matchup against Reclamation is weak. It's Reggie, 7. It's a 7/6 creature on turn 3, and the Reclamation player usually have a huge problem to deal with it. Surely it's not the best card, but even if you discard card, it works with your Uro really well. And if you resolve this turn 3, they have no answers. It's really odd. I think this card is better in a closed deck list, because let's say they have a Brazen Borrower in the sideboard. They probably do not board in a Brazen Borrower if they don't know you have it. So this could actually be a surprise sideboard card. If you find yourself the Reclamation game matchup is really hard, feel free to add some Reggies there. In an open deck list, obviously the opponent will see that there are Regisaurs in your sideboard and can adjust a little bit better. But yeah, Regisaur is a really great card against Reclamation. So yeah, feel free to use it, and also there could be a duress or remorse. So this is the explanation about this deck. Hope you're gonna try to enjoy the games, and yeah, hopefully see you next week. Okay, let's play some Game of Sultai. I don't know. I think if we don't face Reclamation today, we should get a lot of wins. I mean, last week, I think we had like 5 wins with the deck. I don't think this will happen always. I mean, I test a lot. And yeah, let's see. Sultai is definitely hot right now. I think we can keep this. We have a Scry, we have a Surveil, so we can definitely fix our draws. We're going to start with the Temple here. Start with Temple, go into Watery Grave, Thought Erasure, check out maybe Aether Gust. Depends what we draw, of course, but this is like the line we go for. And we have a payoff card. We sadly do not have any ramp card in our hand. So, yeah. Opponent still deciding if he wants to keep the hand, if they want to keep the hand or not. Yeah. Sometimes it's just funny, people go in my stream and see if I'm there. When I play offline just for fun, I open my chat sometimes to see who really comes and wants to snap. It's actually fun. Scry, we could take a land though, but we run a lot of lands and we also have Surveil here, so let's see. First information on the land here. Opponent also do not want to play a land. Does not want to play a land here. That's interesting. What is opponent doing here? Okay. There's a world where we could actually play a Scry land again. It depends on the land we see. Right now this looks like Reclamation. Oh, bad matchup. It's hard. I think we go for it and try to hit a non-tapped land. Sorry, what? They play counter tribal here. So it's a tempo deck. That's hard. It's actually hard. I mean, that Red Hot Arcanist with this setup is kind of whatever. I think I'd take a counter away. I think I take another land here. We do not care about the Arcanist here. If they play the Arcanist... Oh, they top deck a dragon, huh? That's a hard one. It's okay, it's potential. I mean, the sprite is definitely... They top... What? We're gonna top this because they only have 2 lands, right? They kept this on top. That's really interesting. If this wouldn't be a tapped land, we could Uro into Thought Erasure. But they probably have to play the Rob again, right? So we want to develop our board with as much lands as we can. So if they play the robber here, they cannot steal anything from us at least. I mean, sure, it's damage here. And we would like to go towards an Extinction Event. If we top deck a land here, we can play Krasis for 4. And I mean, bouncing Krasis is kind of awkward. And I think I will not do this to get a land. Did not find a land here, but that's still okay. We could play Krasis for 3 is kind of strange. Could also Uro again, play Thought Erasure on the last counter. Which may be something I do. I still do not crack the passage here. Just to find the land. Did not find a land. It's kind of awkward, but we go for the counter here. And we need to get the blue. Yep. So right now we have access to an Uro next turn. Sure, they can bounce it, but at least we have something. Also, establishing a Krasis here could be really good. With the Urus, we got life back, so that the little damage they do here is not that good. Probably they let this open here to bounce our Uro, but with us drawing a land here, we just go for a Krasis. If they top deck the counter here, sure, that's fine. We still get the draw and we still get the life. That's fine. So if we get the bounce out here, that's already good. We just replay it next turn, so -1 bounce. They probably do it just for getting tempo here and trying to steal cards with the robber, because so far we do not have anything there. But overall, I still think this is the correct play here. They're still on 2 lands though. It's definitely not where they want to be. I will not play the Shark Typhoon yet. I want to get rid of the other fairy there. Let's hope they don't steal something big here. I mean, it could be worse. We're just gonna play a Krasis again. What else could we do though? I will not play an Ura here, obviously. This seems also kind of bad. So we're just gonna replay this. Oh, we did not play a land yet. Maybe we find a tap land. You do not counter this. This would be so awkward. I think you just let this go. But opponent is thinking 2 lands. Okay. So we got 7 lands in, and at 9 we could technically Narset into Casualties. But there's a world where we can Narset now. I think next turn will be Ura and Narset, but leading up with Narset to get the removal spell in. Because they could also play their Archon Dreadhorde, the Dreadhorde Arcanist here, and then they have 4 creatures with 2 mana, where us finding the Extinction Event is really good. Okay, they got another one. That's fine. I mean, we don't care about this card too much here. We find another Krasis. That's kind of funny. I still think we lead up with this here. We will go for an Ura. I mean, they had to top deck the card they need, right? So we're gonna play 2 lands from hand here. We don't want to shock in. We definitely need to make sure that we keep our lands. If they top deck the counter here, I mean, that could be happening. They top deck the counter. I mean, you always have to think what are the odds, right? And they were not there right now. That's kind of sad, not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard. There's a lot of damage we get here. Losing to top decks is now fun, and yeah, I mean, they could win again here, because it's gonna be hard. We have to rely on our life gain here. Maybe also rely on the Narset. It's not over yet, but it doesn't look too good. So we want the Extinction Event here, 100%. We're gonna dig for it. We did not find it. We are on 1. We possibly gonna need the Gust here. And now we need to calculate how we can survive. So we need to play Gust, Krasis, and Nissa probably. Okay, so let's say we played Nissa. Of course, with the cards that have forest but don't count as forest. So this would be like this so far. So we will play Nissa. Then we would have to play the Gust. This is haste, so we need to keep it up. We cannot let this happen, so we need to do it like this, where we... It's a tricky one, huh? So we have to take a Krasis for free. Then we get 1 life. If he attacks with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, he can shock. This has no trample though, so we have to use the Gust on the Arcanist here. and jump block the Sprite Drake. Yeah, but if we do it like this, we can go bigger. So we have two options now, and one of it is, I mean, they have to draw. So we can actually try. It's hard. I mean, we would go on one, right? But maybe it is better to do it this way, and then they have to shock out. This is no trample. So I can gust this. I need to do it like this, yeah. I could also gust the shock, but it's not the smartest idea. So we need to see what the opponent is trying to do here. We go into... Oh, this was the card we needed. Yep. We just hope we didn't top deck. They didn't top deck any shock here. Now we're gonna block. If they top deck the counter here, they top deck twice in a row the one card they need. Can happen. But yeah, it would not be fun. Okay, so they cannot draw a card here. Makes sense. They get Krasis or Breeding Pool here. But they fill our graveyard, which is kind of awkward to me, because now we can get back to life again. Get some life back here. Oh yeah, no, it's even, sure. 0. Tokens count as 0, so it's even. And yeah, our turn. Okay. So, we clearly want to play Uro and the Krasis. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna Growth Spiral here. And play the first land. Gonna play out Uro. And then we go for a Krasis. But I think we definitely go for Uro. It's constant life gain. They get a Sprite Dragon next, so that's not really dangerous to us. Shocking here basically is -1 life, but gives us a bigger Krasis, so I think we can go for it. And now we do not shock. I think we commit as much as we can here. So this is 7/7. Would have been better if it's an 8/8, obviously, but I mean, this board state is really, really good right now. It was tricky. It was really tricky, but we managed to get there. I think there's probably they need to crack the passage here. I think there's no other way. I mean, they just got a Sprite Dragon, right? And I mean, they can maybe try to win over fly, but over in the air, but cannot see this. This was the first game, so we know they have a really aggressive deck, and I think Ritual of Suit is a card that we can use here for sure. It's maybe a bit too late. I also like instant spot removal a lot. Thought Erasure is honestly, we do not want to have the Narset here, and we do not want to have the Tamiyo. This is way too slow. Also, Casualty way too slow. I would play Gusts over Casualty. Also, the Cry is okay, but the Cry doesn't hit the Archon Dreadhorn, the Dreadhorn Arcanist. but it's still not bad. But it could be too slow. But it still hits some cards. Gust seems okay, but they also have a lot of... No, Gust is really good, because, yeah, we have to go for Gust here. I mean, Narset is not bad. We definitely will on the life gain. The Thought Erasure is also a tricky card, because usually they already deploy what they want, but I would run it like this. Cry is really tricky in this matchup. We didn't saw all the creature, obviously, and the ones we saw, they were okay. But, I mean, there's an argument for playing another Cry or Thought Erasure, but I'm gonna run it like this. Because usually the Sprite Drake, I mean, we really need to hit it on 3. If we hit it later on and they have a bigger Sprite Drake, Aether Gust is really, really good. Also, I like the instant removal maybe more. I'm gonna keep this hand. We have a removal and we can check their hand. And Shark Typhoon cannot get countered. Surely it can get bounced, but it's still okay. Okay, double mulligan. Definitely hurts. Scry top, sure. We also gonna scry here. And we also top. This is life gain. This is what we want. They need to be fast. Sprite Dragon here, sure. We don't care about the Sprite Dragon right now, because the Sprite Dragon needs to get bigger, and I think this is a good spot to get the counter away. So they get a Scion and the counter. This looks like the Scion to me. We also could have went for the Opt, but the Scion is right now hard to deal with since we removed our casualties. We assumed that they will play Opt here, right? And Heartless Act they cannot counter with their Mystical Dispute. They shock here. That's a bit unfortunate. What we're gonna do here is... Okay, so now we're definitely gonna kill the Sprite Dragon. We play a tapped land. Remove the counters. That's the problem again, yeah. We're still gonna remove the counters though. It's such a strange card. I mean, but a 1-1 here is still fine. They have 1 count on hand. They need to find their stuff. Okay, I think we're just gonna play the Shark Typhoon here. We play around their dispute and they cannot counter our Typhoon. They could have a bounce here. That's possible, sure. But yeah, that's what we try. They could have a bounce, they could have a shock, but they basically needed to draw that card. Oh, okay, dismissal. Okay, I see. Yeah, sure. And we found the Krasis here, which is a really interesting draw. They're kind of forced to counter our next spell. So we're gonna play Uro here. That's the one we don't care if it gets counted. So now we have room for a 4-4 Krasis, and we just hope they didn't top deck anything else. So this is the moment where we play the 4-4 Krasis. We also got a really good card. We could have played this first, but this gives us a draw here and some life. If they have a bounce here, we definitely have to go for Extinction Event. But if they have Brazen Boar, it's kind of hard because they play it and they have 3 damage again. So we would have to think of the best possible play. We still have an Uro though. Yeah, I think Mulligan to 5 definitely did not help. And yeah, so this was the first game. Let's go for another one. As I said, like Sultai is definitely a deck that came up this week really big, and it can be so strong if you ramp in your big spells. And yeah, I enjoy it. I definitely am more of a rec player, but I definitely enjoy this type of deck as well. Drawing cards is fun, and I like to draw cards. Arte. Okay, so opponent starts. With this type of deck, I'm never too worried if opponent starts, since you can get a lot of ramp with the cards. But it's definitely not fun if opponent plays an aggressive deck. Really awkward hand, but we have 2 playables, actually 3 players, so playables. So we're gonna keep it here. We did not find the Growth Spiral in our hand, but I still think it's okay to keep this. Okay, so we could have started with this, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to find a land. We're gonna try to hit the 4th land so that we get another land here. Probably gonna lose our Thought Erasure. But if it's a mirror, Narset is really bad, so they need to figure out if they want to deal with Narset. That's interesting. Okay, we hit the land, and we want to hide that we hit that land. So we're just gonna drop it. Because if we play the forest here, they know we have 100% access on Narset. And this way they do not. If they have 2 lands here, and Nissa, it's no fun. 1. Okay. Okay. So now is the question, do you want to go for it or not, right? And this question is mainly there because they have a Nissa. And I think we have to make them have the Nissa here. And we go for the casualties. So now we're gonna see. They had the Nissa. Usually, oh, what? Cavalier. That's okay, I guess. That's okay. I was really scared if they would have the Nissa there. We're gonna still wait with our passage to draw more lands. But we can easily draw another card here. I think we go for another Shark Typhoon. What we have to do here is we have to play a Shark Typhoon to block the Cavalier. We hope there's no Nissa though, but they could clearly play an Uro. But they do not get the draw at least. Right now we have to block a lot. Why the hell would they attack us? Okay, that's fine. It looks like they have a casualty here. That's the only reason why you would do this. There's no other reason. So opponent had more ramp, which yeah, they have it. So opponent has more ramp, which is definitely a problem. So it delays everything we do. That's kind of sad. But yeah. They also have access to Uro. So the person who starts and ramps first in those type of matchups, usually huge favorite. And yeah. So now they can play Uro, draw the card, and from there definitely get back in the game. We have to make tokens here as good as we can. And then somehow our only win condition is to untap with the Nissa. Yeah, it's not hard. It's kind of hard to do, but we have to try it. If we had a Gust here, it would be beautiful. Okay, so we definitely have to check what's in the graveyard. Casualty and Questing Beast makes total sense. There could have been a world where we shocked in and then tried to Gust here, but I think we still keep making tokens here to have blocks. We have to take that 5 damage here. So we can have actually 3 blockers next turn. Where we also can triple block the Uro with our Nissa land plus the Shark. No blocks, pass. A land again, that's good. The land difference is definitely there. If we had a ramp here, I would be happy, but we didn't have the ramp. We're gonna have to throw in an island. I know it's kind of awkward to get the forest here, but since we have at least 1 swamp on our hand, we still have a way to play casualties. But even though we do not want to exactly play casualties, that's a problem. Because now we don't have a good block. But casualty is way better now, so we need to make sure that our Nissa survives. So we can kill land, Uro, Nissa. Opponent goes face, this is so strange. Okay. We have to make sure that we keep our land actually. If I did play it a bit differently, it would have maybe been better. If they have a casualty here, of course, I mean, it's game. Okay, so what we have to do is this. And hope they don't have a gust. I could not have used Thought Erasure here first, which is kind of sad. But I think this was the best way to do it here. So now we have to throw in the next land. And then we can get an additional... Oh, this is risky. I could have walked into a Typhoon there. But yeah, we just need to... If they attack here, most likely we have to block beyond 8 though. But yeah, okay, we need to block the Questing Beast. We have to take the damage here. Best case scenario is playing Uro plus casualties, but they play another Uro now, so we have to think how we're going to do this here. So we probably have to lead with Uro. This will not help us. But we also have to make sure we tap correctly. Since we have Tamiyo, we have to also make sure we do not cut things that could be beneficial to us. And we need to get rid of the Uro here. Also, actually, the getting rid of the Cavalier is kind of good, but I think it's better to do like this. Land creature. So creature and land actually does not matter right now, but yeah, it's those two. And we do the breeding pool. So, and we could also went for actually for this, but we're going for the breeding pool, so we can actually block and play Growth Spiral off it. So hard game. It's really hard to play from behind here. Like really, really hard. If they attack here, we block the Cavalier. Right now, honestly, I'm not even sure if Nissa ultimate will bring us there. Okay, that's interesting. And that could be really bad. At least the Uro and Breeding Pool cannot... Oh, they could get the Ritual of Suit here. If they get the Ritual of Suit, we just lose. They probably have a suit in the sideboard. That's not the card I want though. That is totally fine actually. It's interesting. So, if I... Okay, listen. If I block Uro here... If I would block the... Okay, so he has the Extinction Event, right? With the Extinction Event, he can say uneven and my Uro goes away. So what I have to do here is... I have to block the Questing Beast. Going on one is definitely risky. But I think I have to do it. Awkward. Definitely awkward situation. Oh wait, oh, I missed. That was a misplay. Now we lose the lands, and I should have played Spiral first. Yeah, I think both situations were shit. But yeah, that happens. Still not over, for sure. Have to play another Uro. Yeah, but it's definitely not fun. I think it's kind of hard to say. Was it better to lose Uro or the lands? So if our Uro survives, you have a chance. Okay, that's okay. Our casualty is kind of good. We need to dodge another Extinction Event. Okay, we still survive. Our Nissa has the ultimate next turn. Okay, so that's actually okay. We need to... It's so hard. But I think we're gonna kill... Okay, that's one creature too much, but then the land. Okay, so game plan. Okay, we have a game plan here. That's actually interesting. I mean, obviously we are forced to block like this. But now we can clear the board. Now we can actually clear the board. What card do they get back? Questing Beast is an option. Extinction Event. Extinction. Oh, they didn't took anything here. Okay, so we use the Fabled Passage here because we're definitely going to use the ultimate for Nissa, or most likely we're going to use the ultimate for Nissa. But here we get an untapped land first. Okay, so we need to use Casualty on the entire board, including Narset, and attacking the Nissa. So this is the game plan here. And we also have to make sure we use this kinda okay. So this is Planeswalker, land, creature. Creature, land, Planeswalker. Now we're gonna minus here. Before attack, I think. Because then we thin the deck and maybe get a better draw of Uro. And now we're gonna attack. Since we have a Vigilance card, we are in a good spot, and we have to tap this in. Okay, I think we did okay here. So we could ult the Nissa, which is really important. It was a hard game so far. They can they actually play it? Yeah, they can play the Uro here. Which is okay. I mean, they need to, even if they find the Questing Beast, we still can block. So they need to go for Uro. And we could go double lands now. And also we have a Tamiyo on our hand. So we could get back a Casualties here. And they cannot recast it. That's interesting. They cannot recast it, but they fill the graveyard again. Oh, that's also not so cool. But we have a Thought Erasure that we're definitely going to use before attack, so maybe we find something. Okay. Nope. Gonna attack here. I mean, sure, they have to block here, I guess. That's stupid. Okay, we have to play an Ura here, fetch another card, get some life, and then we play Tamiyo. The question is it even worth to use Casualties though? I think we just go for Krasis here, and plus. We got a good fill on our graveyard, so we could also replay the Uro again. We could actually Extinction Event and say Odd and recast Uro. And then we recast Uro here. We have 2 of them in the graveyard. And what else do we have here? I mean, we never get back the Growth Spiral anyways. Okay, so we managed to somehow win this game. It was a harder game, for sure. And turn. It was important to stay alive, and we really had to use our life as a resource in this game. Okay, so we won game 1. Won game 1 here. Okay, so it was a longer game, for sure. Cards we could play is Fort Distortion, but it's actually a really interesting card in this matchup because you try to ramp, right? You really try to ramp. Tamiyo doesn't protect for here, but it's actually something where you try to ramp, so it's special. I think Gust is one of the better cards here. That's interesting. I want to keep the Extinction Event in. It deals with the lands plus Ura at the same time, so that's really good. Casualties definitely keep in. Also the Norse, I mean every card we have right now is good. I'm not a huge fan of discarding the mirror sometimes, because I tend to want to ramp here and usually play their stuff before you even can play this, where it's different in Bond and in Reclamation, where they send back their counters, right? Here that's not the case. Usually tend to go down on 1 Ura now, because 3 is still enough here. And then you can think of Thought Erasure as well, because you also want to ramp. Maybe actually we go down on Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon is like our late game win con, because we can we have recursion with Tamiyo and Shark Typhoon. So it's like how you want to set up the late game here, but Uro is still really strong. Uro, Nissa, like you have so many threats, right? And you just need to play correctly towards your outs. I think we managed to do that really well and use our life as a resource. I'm going to keep this hand even though we have only 2 lands. We're on the draw, which means we get to see 1 more card, and we're going to passage here into a green source. It's not perfect. Black source would be nice with Thought Erasure, right? But I think it's more important to find an extra land. Okay, that's nice. So they have only 1 land. The only bad part about this, they could signalize a dispute here. Since most likely they play dispute as well, but if they have a dispute, it's -1 card, so it's still okay. Dispute, Growth Spiral was always kinda clunky, but that's fine. We did not find the land here, and we do not do it in our turn. So if they want to dispute, they have to use it in their turn, and it's less likely that our Growth Spiral get disputed here. Shock. So they have a counter. Maybe they have a Growth Spiral plus a counter. They played it like this to play around our Growth Spiral. If they have double Growth Spiral here, it's going to be really bad. Okay. So we missed another land, and now we are kind of forced to do it in our turn. We have so many lands. Okay, we hit the land. That was really important. If they have a Nissa here, they are way ahead. We do not give up, obviously, because we have an Extinction Event and we have a Casualty. But we are far behind. Okay, so that's going to be hard. We take 3 damage. We force to play Uro. Okay, so they could have a counter here with the blue. We have to go for the black. Okay, found another land, which is really good. They have another dispute? That's interesting. I mean, yeah, sure. We cannot do anything about it. So right now, our Extinction Event looks really good. They're shocking. Okay, if they have a Krasis here, it looks bad. Okay. Can they actually play Uro? Okay, so they play Uro here. Makes our Extinction Event even better. We take a lot of damage though. Oh, shock. Okay, Ashok is kind of slow though. Okay, that was whatever. We lose our Uro. It's not cool though, but I mean, well, we are so behind right now. We have to deal with Uro and the land. They did not play Uro here. That's a problem. They played around Extinction Event really well, and us missing another land here is bad, because we clearly needed to work towards our casualty. If we had land here, we could actually play a land here. They play the Nissa land, right? They go for Uro, and we could kill Nissa land Uro, but we kind of missed it. So right now we actually forced to dig for a Gust. Even with a Gust we lose here, so the only way again is an Extinction Event. Oh, Suit works as well. Okay, that's bad, so they can just go for a counter. Okay, good game. So, yeah, Fae is actually a really cool card here, because they can fetch those cards if they want to. We would just minus one hand, and we do not want to go for this. I think I go play some negates here, because opponent has more spells than I expected. I go down on a Gust here. I'm not a huge fan of the disputes. I'm still not a fan of the disputes here. I can see them though, but I think we just don't need it that much. Here we want to ramp more, so bring this guy back in. We also can try to go for 1/4 distortion. Because in our case here, it was actually good, right? When they use it on us. Do we really want to have to? I think, okay, we go for the negates here. Go down on the Gust. Thought Erasure is a bit weaker now. Shark Typhoon as well. The thing with Shark, it's so hard. It's actually hard. The opponent plays a version where I'm not 100% sure what exactly is their Gus. I got more information this game though. But yeah, we missed lands and they ramped and they had every count on every ramp spell. It was definitely a mismatch of hands. Well, we have to go first here. The only problem with this is we thin our deck a lot, but our Ur should come early in. It's kind of awkward. We definitely go for a blue first, and then we need to see if we draw a land, then we drop the Triome into a shock land to get either Uro or Narset, depending how their mana looks like. So. But having like 4 untapped lands is kind of awkward. Blue. Didn't find a shock land here, but we still go for this one. Now you could actually play full control here to fake disputes. But if they fought the erasure here, it doesn't matter. We don't have counter, we just go for Uro. Growth Spiral into dispute. Oh, they missed the land. Okay, so that happened to them now as well, like it did to us. You could actually go for Island to fake the dispute here, but we want to draw more lands. They found their island. It's fine. Found another land here. So the question is, how much do you want to play around their dispute, right? That's the main question now. Playing a Krasis for free seems kind of awkward. And losing Narset here is also kind of awkward. So I think this is a Shark Typhoon and they're going to shock here. If they use an Uro, I'm going to Gust the Uro. Because now, if they would have dispute, we can still pay it, right? Which is okay. We want more blue now. Almost forgot to do this. We cannot, even if it would draw Nissa, we cannot play it because of the counter threat. Okay. If we would deploy a Narset, it's really, really good. But then if they have a Narset next turn, it's kinda, a Nissa next turn, it's kinda awkward. So I think going for the 4/4 Krasis may be the best solution, since we can ramp and maybe find the casualties. And this is like the card you usually do not want to counter. So. Okay. And now we have also access to Uro. So if they would play a Nissa here, we definitely would go for Uro. So now they tap here, which is exactly what we want, right? They missed a land. So missing a land here is crazy. Actually crazy. Yeah. The auto tap was still okay. Definitely go for this. Now we actually can think of not attacking here. No, actually we're gonna attack here and keep Gust up. You can actually play Tamiyo, but he's missing lands, right? And there's 100% of Nissa on the hand. I mean, we actually can even Gust this. Because missing lands, fishing for land is an easy Gust, yeah. So we won that game as well. Game 1 was really, really hard. But I enjoyed this set of games here. And I hope you guys did also enjoy those set of games. We'll definitely not go for more games, since this is a control deck. And yeah. Next week we're going to see how the PT this week looks like. And see what decks there are around. So my prediction is Reclamation, Junt, Bunt, Sultai now additionally, and Gruul and Mono Red Aggro. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed it, and see you hopefully in my stream or in Lotus box. Just ask me whenever you have a question, and yeah, bye.